Alright, so time for another collection video, guys. This time we're going to do Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. I really don't collect for this except for the original Xbox. I used to hardcore collect for the original Xbox, but I've kind of moved away and shifted my focus onto PlayStation now. So I've started to downsize, as I've stated in pretty much all of these videos. And let's just kind of jump into it. We're going to start with some collector's editions that I actually have. So these are from when actually back in the day, I actually bought these day one because I really was extremely hyped for the game, but I lost the cover for this one. So there was a sleeve that went over this, but I absolutely love this collector's edition. The fact that it is in the shape of a book, it just goes themed so well. Got a signature for Alan Wake and everything. Absolutely love this. It's I think a must-own if you're a fan of survival horror and just Alan Wake in general. Next one is going to be Dead Space 2, the collector's edition. Bought this day one, and I am super excited to have this. So it has everything inside too. So the has the old plasma cutter and the game. So there's also a couple other things. I think there's like a soundtrack in it and maybe something else. But because I am a huge Dead Space fan, I bought this day one, and I'm still happy to have it kind of kicking around. You know, it's pretty exciting. Now, move into Xbox One here. I only actually own 2 games, and it would be these two. So first one is going to be the Gears of War and Rare Replay games. So, I picked this up because, well, I really want to play Rare Replay. It has 30 of the Rare games, and why not? For I think I bought it for like $4 or $5. It was dumb cheap. And on top of that, you end up getting Gears of War 2. So, best version to play Gears of War. Another Xbox One game I have is Gears Tactics. I have it still brand new sealed. And the reason I have this is because Best Buy sold it for $5. Brand new. And I'm like, it's a Gears game. It's probably going to be worth a little bit more than that, so why not? I'm going to sit on it for a little while, and who knows? I mean, even if I made $10, it's better than nothing, right? Now let's go to Xbox 360. I really don't have many Xbox 360 games either, and actually a good chunk of them are loose, because as I said, I do not collect Xbox 360 games at all. So let me get some of these bad boys out of here. Boom, boom. Oh yes, I actually do have one more Xbox One game. I'll show you that. I totally messed up. Alright, so the games that I have loose, which I know is a sin, but it wasn't my choice, it's just what happened. So this one is actually from my buddy when I ended up getting to so he gave me his Xbox One specifically because he's like, well, the only time I'm going to play is when we play Killer Instinct, and he bought it with Killer Instinct loose because we're not collecting for them, and I just wanted to play the Rare Replay. That was it. So got that. Gears of War 3. The original Gears of War, which doesn't really matter because we already have that Gears of War. Gears of War 2, which that didn't work out too well. Alright. Don't really know why I have this, but Duke Nukem Forever. And Fable 2. And finally, Gears of War Judgment. So those are my loose 360 games. I'm sure it doesn't matter too much, but just something. Next up, now these are, for the most part, my complete stuff. Got Fear 1, Fear 2, and Fear 3. So obviously they go with my horror stuff. Yes, I know that we can get these for the PS3, but because of being a shooter and back in the day, I actually picked these up from just in general. I was picking up horror games, and I'm like, alright, whatever I found them, I'll pick them up. And well, this is where I found them, on PS3, so I decided to just go with not PS3, excuse me, 360. and that's just where I ended up going with them. Plus, shooter games I feel like are probably a little bit better. PS3 was not really the greatest, right? And speaking of which, I also picked up both the Condemned games on the 360 because both of them are on the 360. So Condemned Criminal Origins is a 360 exclusive, where Condemned Bloodshot is on both of them. So I'd rather have them both on the same console. Next, Tenchu Z. I actually only had the disc for this for a while, and then I found a complete copy at the Salvation Army. So can't complain for $2.99. Splinter Cell Conviction, grabbed this because I was in a huge John Wick phase, so I decided why not to play some John Wick stuff. And that's probably the closest to a John Wick game that we're going to ever get. Far Cry Instinct Predator, I'm thinking about getting rid of this, trying to possibly grab the complete, but also I don't know if I'm going to collect Far Cry games in general. Well, we're done with the 360 now, we're going to the original Xbox. No real order here, just random stuff. We got grabbed by the Ghoulies. Pretty much the reason why I got the Rare Replay to play this. And it's a pretty solid game by Rare, honestly. I really enjoyed it. Van Helsing, horror adjacent game. Pretty fun little beat 'em up game. Not the greatest, and it is pretty cheap, so if you're into that, why not? The Thing, I'm really looking forward to playing this once I decide to actually watch it, because I heard that this is a canon game. Like, this is actually considered like what happens after the movie. Call of Cthulhu. Thankfully, I collected on the Xbox at the right time, because most of these games I got for a really good deal. And sadly, I haven't really gotten around to a lot of them. So I plan on playing that at some point. I've heard pretty good things. Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green. If you haven't seen on my other main channel, I have actually done a complete playthrough of this for the PC though. And this one is actually my old friend's. It is extremely beat up, like one of the worst condition games that I own, but it still plays. It just skips during some of the cutscenes. Okay, that side. Curse, the Eye of Isis. Another really good game that I would love to get to play. I heard it's like Silent Hill, whatnot, so pretty excited actually to get, not Silent Hill, like Resident Evil clone. Pretty excited to give it a shot, and I think this one's gone up in price a bit. Constantine, it is horror adjacent, Keanu Reeves, and it has a bunch of scary looking dudes. I don't know why my camera cannot focus at all today. But here's the thing, this game is terrible. Probably going to do a Let's Try on this with the guys just because it's so bad and it'll be funny. If you don't know, check out Envision Gaming and Envision Gaming Podcast. We do Let's Tries where we try out a game for somewhere between 15 minutes to an hour, and we just start like ripping and tearing into it, breaking balls, just having fun in general. So be on the lookout for a game kind of similar to like this. We just did a recording of Fist, the demo, for I believe PC, and Bravo is really excited about it, so should be cool. It'll give you a little idea of when I've roughly recorded this. Cold Fear, a Resident Evil 4 clone. This game actually did not copy Resident Evil 4. It came out right around the same time, so they actually made very similar to Resident Evil 4, just not as good, but dang near close. So if you're a fan of Resident Evil 4, definitely look out for this. It's gone up a bit in price. It's definitely cheaper on the original Xbox. Haunted Mansion, a horror adjacent Disney style game. It's just like a platformer, kind of cool. Run Like Hell, game that I picked up mainly from Radical Reggie from Metal Jesus. It is a pretty cheap game, so if you're looking for something similar to this, like, well, this game, it's not too expensive. Alright, Dark Watch, if you don't know, big fan of Capcom. Used to collect for Capcom, and specifically Capcom games, but I decided to go against it and just focus on what I really want, which is PS1 and horror games. So this falls in the horror category, and obviously there are some outliers, but unless I really love it, I'm not going to grab it. This is a really beat up copy of Far Cry Instincts. Really bad stickers, but I really don't like this game. This game is terrible. So much better ways to play Far Cry. I would not recommend it, honestly. 007 Nightfire, really fun game. I actually want to collect the 007 games, and I'm going to grab most of the PS2 gen on the original Xbox, and then the PS1 stuff there, and then I want to grab the GoldenEye reboot on the PS3. Alright, moving on to Max Payne 1 and 2. So these games are absolute classics. And I've actually always really wanted to play them. I've played a tiny bit of Max Payne 1, and it's very, very good. I just need to put enough time into it. Just need to actually make the time to play it, you know? Kill Switch, one of my absolute favorite games that I feel like is underrated. It is essentially, if you're a Gears of War fan, you will like this. This is what Gears of War, I'm sure, got inspired by, because it is what birthed, I believe, cover shooting. Alright, so these two games are very similar, and I've been debating, do I get rid of one of them? Because they play very, very similar. You play as guys who have abilities where you can telekinetically pick up items, and you have different powers, and you have the third-person shooting and kind of stealth elements. It's pretty much the same games. I kind of like... I feel like I like PsyOps just a little bit better, but I decided to hold both of them because they both are very good, and I recommend definitely keeping an eye out for these. I know PsyOps is a bit more expensive on the PS2. I think it's like a $20 game on PS2. On Xbox, you're looking at probably like $10, I'm sure. Punisher on the original Xbox. As you see here, I ended up picking this up locally for $10. Not the clearest camera here, but anyways, so really fun Marvel game. Kind of surprised because I know this game goes for like $20-something, and I was happy to find it for an actual decent deal. Next, we have Double Hunter: The Reckoning. Hunter: The Reckoning and Redeemer. So these games are really fun. Definitely played the original one a lot on the GameCube with my buddy back in the day. And the original one is what I think is actually the best. But if you're looking for like some fun kind of mindless arcade, you know, style game, these are definitely up your alley. The original Obscure. So if you're looking for Obscure now, it is going to cost you probably $100+. I bought this a long time ago, and the guy I bought this from actually was from Canada. So he had the cheapest copy back in the day. I don't remember what I paid. It was a long time ago. You're looking at like 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm super glad I ended up picking this up then, because now, I mean, PS2 version is almost like insane to buy. You're looking at like $200+. So I have my one copy of it. I'm completely content with that. Next, we have the Fatal Frame games. So some more really expensive horror games. I actually purchased the first one a long time ago, along the same time as Obscure, and I think I got it for like $20. So second one, sadly, I did not get it. I just picked it up, and it was because I didn't want to pay the little bit more money that it was back in the day, which was like I think $40. So now I had to pay top dollar today, which isn't very exciting. We have another duo, the Suffering games. These are awesome, and honestly, if you're looking for something that's relatively cheap and in the horror category, I say that these are probably the two games I would definitely push you towards. They are super fun, really cool environments. I love the monster design, and in general, I mean, they just look awesome. Look at the artwork on these, you know? Like, it's just sick. Another duo! Doom 3 and Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. So, got the steelbook for this. I'm missing the slipcover, but honestly, I don't care that much for the slipcover. It's not that big of a deal. And Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil is just the expansion. Realistically, I'm never going to play these on the original Xbox because I have a copy of it on the PS4. That's going to be the way to go. But Doom 3, I think, is an amazing horror game, and I'm kind of surprised it doesn't get as much love as it deserves. We've got a nice little trifecta now. the Burger King games. So I got the 3 Burger King games here, actually. All brand new and sealed. You can go on eBay right now and buy yourself these for $6 with free shipping. So do yourself a favor and just pick these up, because why not, realistically? I mean, it's insane for what you can get. Yes, I probably will never open these, but I mean, come on, they're the Burger King games. You gotta have them, right? Another duo, the Baldur's Gate games, Dark Alliance 1 and 2. So, these games are absolutely amazing. I played the original one on the PS2 back in the day, so rent it a lot from the place down the road from me. And these are kind of in the vein of Diablo. They have a lot of loot. You pick your classes, you get the skills and whatnot. Man, this camera really hates this lighting, I can tell you that much right now. I wonder if I can turn this on, if it'll be a little bit better or something. It really hates me. But as you can tell here, now you're gonna get a glare from the light. I'm sorry. But yeah, they're pretty awesome though. I absolutely love it. Adore them. Trying to get the Champions of Norath games also. So those are next on my list for games that are similar to that, and then I'll be happy. Which those are only on PS2. Freedom Fighters, one of my favorite games on the original Xbox. It's also on PS2. This is super cheap. Go out, do yourself a favor, and buy it. This, I would say, is a hidden gem, 100%. You get to control different squads. Great third-person shooting. Honestly, it is super fun with different missions. I haven't gotten too far into it, but just the bit I've played, I absolutely loved. Thief Deadly Shadows. I mainly picked this up because this was the first game I actually bought with my original Xbox back in the day. I bought an original Xbox a long time ago, and actually it was from a pawn shop across the street from the pawn shop I go to now. I never even went to the pawn shop that I go to now until just recently. And it's funny because this game was awesome. The guy across the street was awesome, and he ended up going away, moved away, and I didn't really have anywhere else to go for a while. And yeah, I really appreciate this game. I love it a lot. I like stealth games to a certain extent. That game's just like, you know, reminiscent for me. Gun, another game that is better than it should be, honestly. I did hear that there's a 360 version, and I actually heard that it doesn't run that well. So I'm kind of happy I have this one. It plays perfectly fine. I like it a lot. And our last game of the original Xbox collection is Tenchu Return from Darkness. I don't know 100%, but I think this game is actually a possibly a remake or a reimagining of the first game for the PS1, because I played the first level and it literally is the same as the first level as the PS1. So pretty interesting. I really like the Tenchu games, and honestly I'm kind of going for a collection of it. I have most of them. I'm just missing a few for the PS2, and then I have, I think, every game. So yeah. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know if there are any Xbox games that I missed, any games I should look up and check out. I probably have most of the games that I really want for the original Xbox. There are very few, and most likely because I did have a massive original Xbox collection before. I probably had the game and I sold it. For example, the Halo games, I got rid of those. Don't really care for Halo, not really collecting Halo. Brute Force, a couple of just things off the top of my head. That are those original Xbox exclusives. As I said, I'm not really going for this selection. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Envision Gaming channel. I will see you next time.